Hi, I thought I'd share a story of some conversations that we're having with home sellers right now. The question is, should I sell my house now? Should I wait? All these kinds of things. And the answer is we don't have a crystal ball. We do know that the market is declining in most parts of the country. It is slower, even though we have limited inventory, which is advantageous to a seller. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a lot more money. It just means you have a really good likelihood of selling your property at a reasonable, fair market value. And some of the strategies that we use around that is different than it was 2, 3 years ago. And it's more like the way it's always been done. But we've got some really good tools that we've been able to use. We have a great contingency addendum that is powerful. It makes sellers comfortable to take a contingency offer, and it makes buyers comfortable to be able to find a house, put it under contract, and then put their house on the market. But I want to talk about your appreciation because what we're seeing is we're starting to see people lose some of the appreciation they gained and by pricing too high and not realizing what they're doing is they're hurting themselves because then they end up losing quite a bit of the money that they've gained. Now, keep in mind, you've probably doubled your money in the last 5 years, depending on when you bought it, no matter how long you owned it. So you don't want to lose that. You're not going to get it all what it was at the top. Forget that. But so you got to be really watching because prices are declining. The other thing is changes in tax policy. There is nothing out there that says that the primary residence tax credit is going to go away. But just know, as fiscal things change, and as there's an awful lot of changing going on, quick decisions and things like that, if that were to go away, that could change the impact of your wealth and your equity significantly. And I'm going to show you a scenario of a house, a real house. This house, these people purchased on March the 30th, 2018, $250,000. All right. Today, the house is worth 476,544. Great location, and it's just a really good property. They have made a profit so far. I say profit. Their appreciation is $226,000. Okay. That's about 9 to 10% per year, which is unusual because normally it's anywhere between 3 and 5, normally around 4, 4.2 over the last 50 years. So what we've got now is a tool on this cool new site that I actually am having developed and we will be launching nationally. So looking for investors on that if you need to or interested in investing in a project like this because it's quite expensive. But anyway, this will be able to throw some modeling out there. It's not perfect. You always check and you'll notice down here with your accountant and things like that. Normally, this house in the same amount of time would be $330,000. So a total profit realized of 226,000. That's before commissions and taxes and things like that, versus 80,000. Now, here's the big difference that you don't realize. You've got a tax savings if it's your primary residence, you've lived there out of the last 5 years of $33,000 that you will save. So you keep all the profit. Over here would only been 12,000. So every time this number falls, this number is going down quickly too. And then just imagine if all of a sudden they said, hey, instead of you paying zero taxes on your gain for your primary residence, they said you're going to pay capital gains rate, which is 15 to 20% depending on your income. All of a sudden, that number goes away. So don't just think about your gain, think about your taxes, think about all those things, especially if you're in a situation where you've moved out of the house and you are coming up on a deadline. We've got some folks right now that are coming up on a deadline. They got 7 months to be able to sell their house and it qualify as their primary residence so that they will be able to have that exemption status. So they've got to be very aggressive on the price because the tax savings is more important than the price. So these are conversations that we have. This comes with experience. And again, I always want to default to your tax advisor, an accountant, an attorney, or things like that. But please, please If you have questions, let's have a conversation or talk to a realtor who's been around, who understands these cycles and these things, because we had crazy appreciation. I mean, this is 3 times as much appreciation in a period of what, 7 years, which makes no sense. So, and it's never going to happen again. Thanks a lot. I hope this is helpful. Please give me some feedback on this. And also try out freehousevalue.com. You don't have to enter any information except your address, no phone number, nothing. And it'll give you some great data. It's the latest data using some of the Zillow stuff and also some other. And it's going to have even more models on there where you can calculate, certainly this model, you'll be able to calculate your wholesale price. So if an investor was to buy it, what you might want to think it'd be worth as is. And then also it's going to have some prices to help you with your insurance, to shop your insurance, to get your likely structural value, taking the land value out so you can figure out and make sure you got enough replacement costs. But anyway, it's going to have some really nice models, but we're building this to launch it nationally soon. And we've got some support from national vendors, home improvement companies and things like that. But obviously I'm a realtor and I got a really good friend that's a developer. We've done work together and we're kind of bootstrapping it right now. So if anybody out there is interested in getting into that angel investor game,